having fun.
Yeah.
Is Rachel here now, or
No, we switched. She came.
you came and she went?
Yeah, that's what he said last week, off and on.
What are you home alone now?
Are we on? Yeah. Okay, we are being recorded.
Okay.
So, okay, I have to do the thing, the intro.
Intro.
Welcome to Garden of the Spirit, the class studying apples from the orchard for the second time beginning after Pesach 2014. This class meets in Long Meadow, Massachusetts, the center of the universe, and is held in memory of Malka Ruth Bas Moshe Margaret Vogel of blessed memory. Apples from the Orchard contain selections of teachings of Kabbalah from the Arizal Rabbi Yitzchak Luria, based on the weekly Torah portion, superbly translated and explained by Rabbi Moshe Wisniewski. Okay, so we are on page 995, chapter 3.
Hello.
And today I think it's like 6.5 pages, but I finished, so we should be good. We should, here we are. Okay. There are two passages in the Torah called curses, rebuke, or admonishments. The first was said by Hashem during the year the Jewish people were camped at Mount Sinai. That contained 49 curses. The second was stated by Moshe at the final encampment in the plains of Moab that contained 98 curses. The curses are rather stark and sometimes quite graphic. Um, okay, Alan, please begin.
You want me to read the chart above or not?
No,
No,
page
no, no. We did that.
995.
Right. Arrows and curses. It will be that if you do not listen to the voice of Hashem, your Hashem, to keep all his commandments and statutes that I command you today, all the following curses will come upon you and overtake you.
Oh,
Moshe,
go ahead.
Moshe describes the consequences of the people abandoning their covenant with Hashem. This passage, known as the reproof, Tochacha, consists of exactly 98 curses.
Okay, thank you. The Arizal will explain that the sins that cause all the punishments are represented by the sin of sexual impurity, also called violating the bris milah. The male seed has the potential to produce. So we're saying is that sexual impurity is like a model for all other sins, or a paradigm for all of other sins. The male seed has the potential to produce life. I wish I would have thought of that line when I was typing this up. The male seed has the potential to produce life. It also carries the DNA of the entire body of the father, even the brains. It is meant to be, so if you think about it, that even the brains are contained in that putrid drop. It is meant to be transmitted to a woman, specifically to a person's wife. Anything else is a violation of the bris. Now, this is a mirror of divine energy that provides the world with existence. It is meant to support holiness. If it is diverted to klipa, then it's a violation of holiness. One moment, I'll do one more. I think. Yeah. As we've seen, sexual purity is associated with Yesod, which transmits life force from Zer Anpin to Malchus, the feminine principle. In the first set of rebukes, it refers to a sword of vengeance. The first set of rebukes refers to a sword of vengeance for the bris. Bris can refer to the bris milah, or it can refer to the general covenant Hashem made with Yisrael. So there's a line that says, I forgot the beginning, Nokemis Nikam Bris. It's a sword which avenges the bris. So it could be the bris could refer to the covenant with Israel, or it can refer specifically to the bris milah. Okay, go ahead, Alan.
These curses are all a punishment for the blemish caused in the sphere of Yesod. This is the mystical meaning of the phrase, a sword avenging the vengeance of the covenant. The whole passage is referred to by the Torah itself as a covenant, bris. Simply stated, a covenant or pact is an agreement between two parties sealed by the clause that if the pact is abrogated, there will be consequences. The existence of consequences cements the relationship and makes it serious or real for the parties involved. The sphere of Yesod is where all the powers of the preceding spheres coalesce into a concentrated essence, the seed or semen, which is then meant to be transmitted via Malchus Nukva to the outer reality as the birth of a new reality or way of living. All these powers from the initial insight on are a gift of Hashem that he gives us for positive, wholesome, and holy purposes. It is therefore crucial that this seminal message or energy be channeled through the proper medium, that of Malchus. From Malchus being the personification of Hashem's will to have a home in the lower realms, is totally directed and dedicated toward using the energy of Yesod for the holy purpose of increasing the awareness of Hashem's presence in the world. If a person chooses not to direct his energy into Malchus, but instead to divert it into non-holy channels, he is betraying his covenant with Hashem. He is taking his Hashem-given gifts, whether his vital seed or any other gifts, resources, or talents he possesses, and using them for self-indulgent or egocentric ends. This explains why the commandment of circumcision specifically is called bris, covenant. After all, the whole Torah is Hashem's covenant with the Jewish people. This also explains why Arizal here says that the consequences detailed by the Torah for abrogating its observance can all be seen as the result of betraying the covenant of Yesod. In other words, all sins are ultimately sins of misdirected sexuality. And the specific sin of misdirected sexuality, in a sense, contains within it all other sins. The verse about the sword avenging the vengeance of the covenant is taken from the parallel rebuke passage in the book of Shmos. Vayikra, sorry.
What did you say?
I said Vayikra.
Okay. So again, the idea of the male seed mirrors the idea of divine energy that sustains the world, provides vitality for the world. And if it's not directed at the proper reciprocal, re, re, respectable, reciprocal, receptacle. If it's not directed towards the proper, if it's not trying towards the proper receptacle or the one that's supposed to, the place where it's supposed to be received, then it is diverted, fumble, interception, and the same thing with the divine energy that sustains the world.
So isn't this when we speak of sin as the arrow missing the mark, that is sin, right here. This is
You looked ahead.
Oh, I did? Okay. I'm just thinking out loud. I did not
Our
look at it.
rabbis and even the Torah use the euphemism of a bow
Right.
and seed that shoots like an arrow
Uh-huh.
regarding seminal discharge.
Okay.
So, for example, it says that if a couple doesn't have children and the woman said, and this is before modern medicine, and she says it's the husband's fault because his seed does not shoot like an arrow. That's one thing. And I wrote the Torah because actually this week's Parsha, in the blessings from Yaakov
Right.
to Yosef, he talks about I don't have it in front of me, but he talks about the bow,
Right. Someone lays a part of there
and which has to do, meaning that that Yosef controlled himself
with
when,
Potiphar.
with
With
Mrs.
Miss
Potiphar.
Potiphar, yeah.
Yes. So over there it says that like he restrained his bow.
Right.
And then I think he also used a few words that have to do with shooting.
Hmm.
So as you said, the proper recipient of the male seed is in Malchus, known as Rachel. If the idea of arrow can refer to male seed, then it can also refer to divine energy.
Hmm.
Okay, go ahead, Helen.
Now, the organ of procreation, the physical manifestation of Yesod, is likened to a bow that shoots arrows of semen. We see this with regard to halachic discussions regarding whether or not a particular discharge of semen can be considered potent. The seed is not considered potent if, when discharged, it does not shoot like an arrow. The simile of ejaculation and shooting an arrow is found in biblical verses as well.
Now, go ahead.
The target of the arrows of Zeranpin is the parts of Rachel. As we said, the only legitimate target for Yesod is Malchus, personified in the narrow sense by one's wife, or in the broader sense by the holiness of the vessel, as evinced in its being a vehicle for the dissemination of the Hashem idea throughout reality.
Hmm.
And five, King David, let's cover that. King David writes in Tillim, but God shot at them like a sudden arrow were their wounds. This is fitting because through their sins, the people removed the arrows,
Hmm.
divine energy, from their rightful targets, which is holiness. And this is talking about people who arouse the anger of Hashem. So it refers to their what they suffer as being shot by an arrow, because the arrow of divine energy, they diverted it from its target.
Hmm.
It's 997.
Therefore, when the Jewish people sinned and thereby caused the holy arrows to be disassociated from their rightful target, the consequence was that Hashem shot them at them. A sudden arrow was their wounds. This verse applies normally to those who have sharpened their tongue like the sword and aimed their arrow, a bitter word, to shoot the innocent in secret. Here, the
Hmm.
community abuses their arrows, the power of Yesod. They bring upon themselves retribution in kind.
And finally, number six, the word for Hebrew word for arrow is chetz.
Hmm.
Matria is 98.
Hmm.
And that's the number of curses that Moshe stated in Devarim in this parsha.
Hmm. That's cool.
Alan?
There are 98 curses of this passage. The numerical value of the word for arrow, ches, states, ches tzaddik, is 98.
Okay. So that's that. Very good. Okay.
Before.
Now number four. Start with the introduction. One moment. Okay. One. In one of the 98 curses, Moshe states that people will suffer serious disease.
Hmm.
This may refer to an individual or it may refer to an epidemic. To me, it's not clear. The Arizal will explain disease according to Kabbalah. Go ahead, Alan.
Divine disease. Hashem will cause the pestilence to cling to you until it finishes you off at the land you are entering in order to possess. This is one of the curses of the admonition, tochacha.
Continue.
The mystical concept of pestilence, may it never befall us, is as follows.
Okay, my turn. So we've learned about the kings of Tohu and the containers that crashed.
Mhm.
We now have Avodas Habirurim, the job of selecting and cleaning, or I'm going to write refining. It is cleaning, but refining the shards from the broken containers. Every time we do a mitzvah, we select and clean pieces from the broken containers. Our souls derive sustenance from the kings of Tohu, which is one of the reasons Jewish people are called sons of kings,
Hmm.
because our souls are connected with the kings of Tohu. The and this idea of avodas habirurim, selecting and refining the shards or the sparks, this is what we do. This is what we're here in the world for.
Mhm.
And when we finish the job, we will have Mashiach. Continue, Alan.
Know that everything that occurs is a function of the elevation process of the sparks that fell from the world of Tohu. For do not all souls derive their spiritual sustenance from the fallen kings of Tohu and their refinement, as we have explained regarding the statement of our sages that all Israel are princes?
Okay, 3. Sometimes we select and refine the shards, but some dirt remains. Should I write residue?
Mm.
Yes.
Yeah,
Better.
better word.
Remains. This can occur when a mitzvah is not done in the ideal way. For example, if it is done with impure intentions. In that case, it can cause disease, even leading to death.
Mhm.
Go ahead, Alan.
Now, when there remains an element of waste in the refined sparks, which was not separated out, it acts as a poison. Killing the person during an outbreak of pestilence may never befall us. Refining reality, as we have explained previously, entails removing the element of ego or self orientation from whatever aspect of reality we are working with. When this is done incompletely, that is, the individual's motives are not pure, and he therefore allows an element of self interest to remain in the use he makes the physical world. This admixture of impurity acts to misdirect the divine flow that results from releasing the sparks of holiness inherent in the physical world. If not arrested or checked in some way, this misdirection of divine energy results in disease.
Now, it seems. Oh, the next paragraph. I wasn't sure about this. The next paragraph appears to give another reason for disease.
Mhm.
And it's not connected with selecting and refining shards, but performing mitzvahs in a deficient manner. Now, I don't know what's the difference between performing mitzvahs in a deficient manner and selecting and doing mitzvahs and selecting the shards, and then some residue remains, and the mitzvahs are done deficiently. It sounds like the same thing, but here it seems that he presents it as a different idea.
Okay.
We know there are 4, and it doesn't go into that at all. But okay, we know there are 4 gematrias for the expanded spelling of Havaya. There's 72, 63, 45, and 52. If a deficient form of divine energy is drawn down, the primary letters of each name does not shine. So again, you have, I guess let's say you don't do the mitzvah in the ideal way, then you might be missing from the 72, or 63, you might be missing the yud and the hey and the vav and the hey. The secondary letters are there. The letters of expanded spelling are there, but the primary letters are missing. Since the primary letters do not shine, all that's left are the secondary letters. Since the primary letters of Yud and Hey and then Vav and Hey equal 26, if we remove them from the four names, if we remove them, the four names are now 72 minus 26 is 46. 63 minus 26 is 37. 45 minus 26 is 19. And 52 minus 26 is 26. So the new numbers are 46, 37, 19, and 26. Now, if we add them together, we get 128. To 128, we're going to add 5. 4 for the kolel of each Havaya, 72, 63, 50, 45, and 52. And another one for the kolel of all together. And now we have 133. 133 is the gematria of Negev, which can be translated disease, sickness, epidemic, and so on.
Mhm.
So we're looking at Negev, which is disease. The other word he uses is magefa. Magefa is also disease, but it's more a pestilence or an epidemic. Negev, I think, is not such, it's the same idea, same word, but I think it's less of an epidemic. So this is where we're going. Okay, Jim, 998, pestilence.
Pestilence also occurs when the four names Chavaya do not fully shine. That is, the names themselves are withdrawn. All that remains is the four spellings out. The numerical value of these four spellings out are 46, 37, 19, and 26. Their total is 128. When to this are added the four kollels of the four names and the kollel for the sum itself, the sum total is 133. The numerical value of the word for plague, Negev, this is the source of the plague, may it never befall us. To review, the four spellings out of the name Chavaya, which is 72, 63, 45, and 52, become 46, 37, 19, and 26. It will be seen by subtracting the 26, the name of Chavaya itself, from the four spelled out values, that is the 72, 63, 45, and 52, gives the four remainders above. Negev, Nun, Gimel, Pei, 50 plus 3 plus 80 is 133. Clearly, the withdrawal of the name itself is from its full spelling out, leaving only the letters used to spell out the main letters, indicates a highly abnormal, defective revelation of divinity. This defective life force comes into the world as disease, life, but a harmful form of life.
Okay. During an epidemic, a person should meditate on this word, which is a combination of Hashem's name, as we saw by the gematria in number 4. So during an epidemic or a time of disease, to think about the word Negev, and that's Negev with the vowels in the name of each letter. The name Nun has a shuruk, U. Gimel has a chirik, E, Gimel. Pei has a tzera, we say Pei. So we use the vowels of each letter's name, and the word on which, using the vowels, the word on which to meditate is Nu for Nun, Gi for Gimel, and Fei for the letter Fei. Nu Gi Fei should be your new word.
It is therefore good to always meditate in times of pestilence on this name. The word Negev, this being, in this context, a holy name of Hashem. Vocalize it as follows: a shuruk under the nun, a chirik under the gimel, a tzitzeri under the fei, as if it were pronounced nu gi fei. Since this word Negev was derived from the iteration of the name Havaya, it may be considered a derivative name itself. The Arizal does not explain why to meditate on this word as if it was vocalized with these letters.
Vowels with these
Oh,
vowels.
well, it says the letters in here.
It's a mistake.
Oh, okay. Well, I get that.
Mine has the word vowels written in red.
And mine has the word letters without anything.
Yeah,
So,
but then
Yeah, you changed it, but
Yes, I marked it.
I just read as I'm given, and then we talk.
Yes, here you go. See?
Yep,
See?
yep.
My red pen.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
we,
your red pen. That's
yeah,
well,
when we finish, God willing, I think I'm gonna go through the whole book,
yep.
Yeah.
make of all the corrections, and send it to them.
We did before.
I did, and I used the old book for that.
Okay,
Now I started second time around, I started the new book.
okay.
There's a lot more, especially in this new section they added in the back.
Mhm.
Okay, so he says he doesn't explain. I'm not sure what he does, what he means, what he refers to that he didn't explain. He does say why we have a U for the nun and an E for the gimel and an A for the pay,
Mhm.
because that's the name of the letter. But what that has to do with sickness, I guess that he doesn't explain. Okay, now every day, and here we're gonna look at it in a different way. Where this is done. This is done. This word negev. Every day before Shachar and Mincha, we read the Pesukim in Torah about the Ketoret, the incense brought twice a day on the indoor altar. The first word here is samim. Hashem said to Moshe, take for yourself samim, which means spices. To ward off disease, a person should meditate on this twice a day, as will be explained. Not mediate, Jim, meditate.
Got it.
You mediate.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and it's going to go into a really cool, involved explanation.
Okay. It is also advisable to meditate on the formula for the incense, both in the morning, before morning prayers, and before afternoon prayers, when you recite the verses. Hashem said to Moses, take for yourself spices, stacti, anochia. The incense possessed the power to ward off pestilence and can be seen from the aftermath of the Korach rebellion when Aaron used the incense to stop the spread of the plague. That's right. I remember that. Okay. Specifically, meditate on the first instant of the word spices, samim, in this verse.
Well, hold on. We gotta kind of choose it. Seven.
Oh,
Now, okay. There are a number of methods to substitute one letter for another. The most well-known method is atbash, where the first letter of the alphabet and last letter are interchangeable, the second letter and the next to last letter interchangeable, and so on. Aleph changes for a tough changes for an aleph, base changes for a shin, shin changes for a base. Here, there is a different method. The letters that are interchangeable are the ones with the gematria of 1, 10, and 100, 2, 20, and 200, and so on. This is known as Ayik Becher. Ayik is Aleph Yud Kuf, 1, 10, and 100, Becher, 2, 20, and 200. The five final letters are added after the Tav for a total of 27, which is a multiple of 3. So we have place for all the letters of the alphabet. The groups for samim, spices, are samach, 660 and final mem. The mem it would be 440 and 400. The yud would be 110 and 100. And the final mem would be final mem 6 and 60. Maybe I'll change that. Whenever letters are substituted in this method, the next letter is used. The letter for 1 becomes 10. The letter for 10 becomes the letter for 100, and the letter for 100 goes back to 1. You always take the next one up. And if you're on the highest, then you go back to the beginning. And that's in this chart here on page 999, where across the top they have the first 9 letters. Aleph, Beis, Gimel, Daled, Hey, Vav, Zayin, Ches, Tes, which are the numerical values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The second line is Yud, Kaf until Tzadik, 10, 20, 30, 40 until 90. Then the last line is Kuf 100, Resh 200, Shin 300, Tav 400, and then final Kaf, final Mem, final Nun, final Pei, and final Tzadi. And the way it interchanges is by columns. So the column all the way on the left, Aleph, Yud, Kuf, those are the letters that are changed. exchanged. Okay, now you can read specifically.
Specifically, meditate on the first instant of the word spices, samim, in this verse, permuting it accordingly to the system of Ayach Becher. This will produce a specific name of Hashem, Mem Tav Kuf Vav. I, Rabbi Chaim Vital, do not remember how Arizal said it is to be vocalized.
So once again, that's Memtaf Kuf Vav. And this is a substitute for Samim.
Mhm.
I don't know if you remember, we did use the Atbash, where we exchanged the first letter for the last letter, the second letter for the next to last letter. We used it with Hashem's name, Yud-Ke Vav-Ke, and we came up with Mem Tzadik Pei Tzadik. We did have that once. And then we focused on that. Here, we're going to be speaking about this Mem Taf Kuf Vav, which is a substitute for the word Samim, spices.
Mhm.
By the way, he makes a point somewhere. If you remember, there in Torah, there was an epidemic going around, and Moshe told Aaron to take the Ketores,
Mhm.
take the incense, and stand between the living and the dead, and that stopped the epidemic.
Mhm.
Okay, 8. Therefore, the word samim is substituted as follows. Samach, which has a value of 60, becomes the final mem. The mem, which we're going to keep it as value of 40. Mem 40 becomes tav 400. Yud 10 becomes kuf 100. And the final mem, which is the bottom row, becomes vav, which has a value of 6, which is from the top row. And the new word in place of samim is mem tav kuf vav. It's not a real word.
Mhm.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, I think I'll start it with now. Now, whenever we produce a divine name through permutation using the Ayik Becker system, we always take the letter in question, transform it into the closest letter following it in the sequence. For example, an aleph becomes a yud becomes a kuf becomes an aleph. The same applies to the other letters of the alphabet. Each of the 9 triplets should thus be seen as a wheel.
Continue.
Thus, the word for spices, samim, samach mem, yud, final mem, transform using the 6th, the 4th, and the 1st of these 3 triplets. Vav, samach, final mem, dalet mem tov, and aleph, yud, kuf.
Yeah, he for some reason you look, there's 3 of them.
Okay.
Not all. They're not in the right order either. I don't know why. Continue on page 100.
So how so? The samach of samim.
1,000. I'm sorry, we're on 1,000.
1,000. The samach of samim permutes to the final mem of the 6th triplet vav samach final mem. The mem of samim permeates to the tav of the 4th triplet dalet mem tav. The yud of samim permeates to the kuf of the 1st triplet aleph yud kuf. The final mem of samim permeates to the vav of the 6th triplet vav samach final mem. For as we have said, if the letter in question is the 3rd of the triplet, we substitute it for the 1st letter of the triplet. Thus, the word samim permutes into the letter combination mem, tav, kaf, vav. Samach is mem is tav, yud is kuf, final mem is vav.
All right. Now, okay, fasten your seatbelts, folks. This new word, mem taf kuvav,
Mhm.
has a gematria of 546. 40 plus 400 plus 100 plus 6 equals 546.
Hmm.
There will be some numerical prestidigitation to get mem taf kuvav to equal the name of Hashem, so be prepared. First, okay, I just wanted, before I read inside, I'm going to remind you that we haven't had in quite a while, regressive iteration. Regressive iteration means the first letter plus the first two letters plus the first three letters plus the first four letters. So the first letter is done 4 times, the second letter is done 3 times, the third letter is done twice, and the fourth letter is done once. And expanded spelling means not where we take the letter, but we take the way the name of the letter. So Aleph isn't just the letter Aleph with the value of 1, but Aleph, the name of Aleph is spelled Aleph Lamed Pei. Aleph is 1, Lamed is 30, Pei is 80, for a total of 111. So we're going to talk about these two things, regressive iteration and expanded spelling. The regressive iteration of the expanded spelling of Ekya equals 544. And it looks like this, going right to left. First, we take the expanded spelling of Aleph, which is 111. We take the expanded spelling of Aleph plus Hey, which is 126. We take the expanded spelling of Aleph plus Hey plus Yud, which is 146. And the expanded spelling of Aleph plus Hey plus Yud plus Hey is 161, if I'm not mistaken. It is expanded spelling of Ekya and regressive iteration, which is A plus A plus B plus A plus B plus C plus A plus B plus C to plus D. We're going to add, no, so once again, this new word or substitution for samim, the spices, is mem to kufav, and that's 546.
Mhm.
The Ekya has a value, has a gematria, according to this formula, of 544. They're 2 off. I guess if it's 1 off, you can say throw in the kollel.
Mhm.
But here it's 2 off. So it's gonna be a little more um, um, complicated. So now we're going to add the secondary letters only of Havaya of 72. So if we have expanded spelling of Havaya, and then we remove the primary letters are 26. So if we remove the primary letters, we have 46. We're going to add 46 to the 546 of Mem Tov Kuf Vav, and now we have 590. Okay, Jim, go ahead also.
All right. Also, meditate on the fact that the numerical value of this divine name, Mem Tov Kuf Vav 546, is equivalent to the numerical value of the letters used to spell out the 72 name Havaya, that is 46, plus the numerical value of the posterior of the name Ekya when it is spelled out 544. Mem Tov Kov Vav equals 40 plus 400 plus 100 plus 6 is 546. We saw above that the numerical value of the letters used in the first spelling out of the name Havaya is 46. 72 minus 26 is 46. The posterior Achor Rayim of the name Ekya, Aleph Hey Yud Hey, as we have explained previously, is given by spelling the word progressively, beginning with the first letter, then the first 2 letters, etc. That is Aleph, Aleph Hey Yud, Aleph Hey Yud Hey. The spelling out of the posterior of the name Yekya then is as follows. So Aleph Lamed Pei, 130 plus 80 is 111. Aleph Lamed Pei, 1 plus 30 plus 80 is 111. Hey Yud, 5 plus 10 is 15. Aleph Lamed Hey, 1 plus 30 plus 80 is 111. Hey Yud, 5 plus 10 is 15. Yud Vav Dalet, 10 plus 6 plus 4, 20. Aleph Lamed Pei, 1 plus 30 plus 80, 111. Hey Yud, 5 plus 10, 15. Yud Vav Dalet, 10 plus 6 plus 4, 20. And Hey Yud, 5 plus 10, 15. Total 544. When these values are added together, we have 46 plus 544 equals 590. This is obviously more than the numerical value of mem, tov, kuf, vav, which is 546. The Arizal now explains this difference, which is 590 minus 546 equals 44. So we're now going to understand what the 44 difference is.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say I wanted to write that we need to square. Our result is going to square the two numbers, but that would people wouldn't get the right meaning of square. They think I'm talking of something of math. I'm just saying to get them to. I wrote a line. What was the word discrepancy? Okay, yeah, now we have a discrepancy.
Yep.
We're now going to align the Mem Tuf Kuf Vav 546 with the name Ekya, which we found to be 590. With Ekya, we added the expanded spelling of 72 and so on. But basically, the name Ekya was 590. 546 is 44 less than 590. Okay. What are we going to do? We're going to take the regressive iteration of Ekya, which equals 44.
Mm-hmm.
How does that work?
So,
1 plus 1 plus 5.
mm-hmm.
This is using the letters themselves, the regular gematria, not expanded spelling. The first letter is Aleph, that's 1. That's 1. Second letter is Hey, 1 plus 5. The third letter is Yud, 1 plus 5 plus 10. And the fourth letter is a Hey, 1 plus 5 plus 7 plus 5 equals 44. So we're going to add this to the 564 of Mem Taf Kuf Vav, and we get 590.
Okay.
Okay.
The extra 44 is the numerical value of the squaring out of the four letters of the original name Ekya, which is 44, as follows. Aleph, Aleph, Hey, Yud, Aleph, Hey, Yud, Hey, equals 1 plus 1 plus 5 plus 1 plus 5 plus 10 plus 1 plus 5 plus 10 plus 5 equals 1 plus 6 plus 16 plus 21, which equals 44. It will be seen that the terms squaring and posterior refer to the same process, that of spelling out a word regressively.
And I've pointed that many times when you have this formula of A plus A plus B plus A plus B plus C is sometimes it calls it ribua, which means a square, and sometimes it calls it achorayim, which means I guess regressive, or what do you call it? Posterior.
Posterior is how we
But
call
really,
it.
the formula is the same. It could be that they're done for even the formula is the same. It could be that they're done for different reasons, and that's why they have different names.
Okay,
Could be that the
so,
regressive shows that there is something lacking, and
right.
uh okay, I don't know. But
It will,
we have to add this. I pointed it out. Okay. Go ahead.
I'll just finish this piece. It will also be noticed that the value of the letters used to spell out the posterior of the name Ekya, considered separately from the letters used to iterate the posterior itself, is given by subtracting 44 from 544, which is 500.
In other words, we have the expanded spelling. He just points out that we have the math. We have the expanded spelling of Ekia was 544 and regressive. If we remove the primary letters, we just said here that is 44. So we remove the primary letters, we're left with 500.
Mhm,
Over here, we only for in the paragraph above, the paragraph that you just read, we only had the primary letters of Ekia, which and the regressive iteration gives us 44. Now, the secondary letters, two more. The secondary letters and expanded spelling of Avaya of 72 equal 46. I think this is a different way to get to get the numbers to match.
mhm,
The secondary so think of it as starting something new. Secondary letters and expanded spelling of Avaya of 72 equal 46. I mean 72 minus the primary letters 26 equals 46. The regressive iteration of expanded spelling of Akia is 544. If we remove the primary letters from the equation, we have 500.
mhm.
So 500 from Ekia plus 46 from Havaya of 42 of 72 gives us 546. The
Mhm.
same as Mem Tov Kuf Vav. So it seems like this is another way to get the numbers to square off.
Right.
We start with Ekye, expanded spelling 544. Remove the primary letters, leaves us with 500, but instead we replace them with the 46, which is the secondary letters of Havaya of 72. And that gives us 546, the same as Mem Tav Kuf Vav. Go ahead.
Thus, the numerical value of the letters used to spell out the 72 name Chavaya is 46. And the numerical value of the letters used to spell out the squaring of the name Ek is 500. Their combined numerical value is thus 546, which is, or the numerical value of the name Mem Tov Kuf Vav. Thus, we see again that the name associated with pestilence and plague is derived from divorcing the main letters of divine names from the letters used to spell them out, which indicates a highly defective form of divine revelation.
And if you remember, Mem Tav Kuf Vav was a substitution of Samim, spices.
Spices.
The Arizal said before to have this in mind when saying the passage of Ketores before Shacharis and Mincha to ward off disease.
Mhm.
So this is why, because otherwise you have it's to counter um to counter in case we have the divine energy without that is lacking, that is deficient, and that can cause disease.
Yep.